Friday.
Still hey guys sing it.
The truth is, I'm not really sure what happened.
If you came to prove, there's no reason to prove.
It's on that camera.
Hey guys, this is FSE Live. We are here. We have Justin Scott doing a class, so we're going to introduce him in a second. We have Brian Hare, Drea Boland, Thaddeus Boland, and Christina Cavalcanti. We're all here. We're going to be hanging out, doing hair. Justin, why don't you start off and talk about what you're going to go over tonight, and then we'll get into the show.
Sure. Hey guys, how's it going? Tonight we have a lovely model, nice mannequin here. I got him sectioned before the show. We're going to go ahead and do a FoHawk for Christina. I've had a lot of gentlemen coming in lately and want to kind of get rid of the pompadour or the high and tight. They're trying to keep a little bit more hair down there. They're not going to be doing, such high skin, waiting for it. They're not going to keep it so tight around that neckline. A lot of guys want to see more of an actual neckline in there. So we're going to go in. We're going to use a few different tools tonight. I'm going to start off with the Andis Supra to take out a ton of the bulk, because as you can see, this mannequin has a ton of hair left on there. Then we're going to go and work the rest of the fade. Won't be too severe tonight with the Andis Master Series. All of the work on top will be done with our Mizutanis. I'm going to go through and do some of the scissor comb work with the... There we go, the DB20s, that's 6.7 inch shears. And then we have the two finger position blacksmith fit, 5 inch. And it's gonna be a nice fun haircut tonight. I'm excited about this. Kind of changed up a bit. A lot of the trends I've been seeing also going on for this year. A lot of people are saying the FoHawk's coming back, and I've seen it in all age groups. So I hope this helps anybody out. Please feel free to ask any questions.
Heck yeah.
So I saw that I don't personally use the single magnet guards. I use the old school 2 magnets, but on the new Supra, you can actually put the single magnets on there very comfortably. This is a great little tip I found out, because you can just go through with your 3.0 or your 0A and take out a ton of bulk real fast. This essentially is like your closed Andis Master Series. That's about how short you're going to take that. So we're going to go ahead and get our 4-guard on. Again, just to take out our bulk, give us a nice clean area to work with. 4-guard.
I'm excited. Those are my guards.
Your news?
They're famous now.
Your newbies? They're famous.
The new school single magnet. What's up?
So we're just going to go up. If this is a person, I'd be using the other hand to stretch. We're going to come up and just scoop out.
Did we go over sectioning already?
I just said how I sectioned it, or sectioned it prior to the show. What I did was went around the occipital. The parietal ridge from the temples up here all the way down to the occipital and back around, because that's where the bulk of the hair is going to stay. Want to keep spinning it, Matt?
A little bit back this way.
Wait, will you just show the back? How you
Sure.
did it for your FoHawk?
Sure. Like a traditional FoHawk, it's not going to go all the way down like a Mohawk would. So it's going to sometimes dip a little farther down, sometimes go up a little higher. What I've seen with a lot of the gentlemen who are coming in here, they have that haircut that comes up super high. So I want to kind of work with that tonight. There we go.
Perfect.
Is that a good angle?
That should be good. I'll let
Awesome.
you know.
So again, just coming up, scooping out. If this is a real person also, I'd kind of be pinching that ear down so that way I can work around it. Comb that hair out of my way. And again, starting down here, nice and slow. Coming up and out. And again, the reason I like these, I'll just actually show you for comparison. They cut right through so much bulk. So I'm going to take my Master Series now and do the same job I was doing with the Supers. And it cuts just a little slower. It still takes a ton of the bulk out, but if you listen as we keep going back over that section, just a few of those little hairs left. Not what I'm looking to do right now. I'm trying to get myself a nice canvas to work with. And stretching. Some people prefer to use a brush when they're working on male guests. I prefer to stick with combs more often than not. I never really got comfortable using brushes on people just because bloodborne pathogens spread very easily. If you kind of cut over a pimple or nick the back of their neck with something, you can spread things very easily from one person to another and not even realize it.
It's delicious.
Nope, just from fear, no experience. Now again, up on the other side. One little hair.
Oh, we have someone from Costa Rica watching tonight.
Oh, hope I don't disappoint.
Right? How bad do they want a balayage class? Let's go.
It's actually the full term for balayage is Brazilian balayage.
Oh.
Show just started and you're already out with them. So I just grabbed my Master Series and I grabbed my 2-guard. I'm going to keep the blade completely open. So it's now in a 2.5. I say open because the arm is all the way down, making it the longest cutting you can get. And you see if I drop that up, it gets shorter. So we're going to start with it a little longer.
Wait, I have a question.
Shoot.
Why did you switch? Why did you use the other one for debulking and not just this one?
The other one, debulking, I used just because I want to start with a nice, flat, kind of easy area to work with. On those, you don't have the arm. So as we switch the purple guards of a 1 to a 2 on here, you can easily adjust that little arm to kind of blend out a line. With
Right,
this,
but-
you have no arm
Right, so I'm saying why don't you just debulk with the master?
because those cut faster. The
more
Master
powerful.
Series is a...
We went over that, Brian.
Yeah, the way the Master Series cuts,
Not
it
well
cuts in
enough.
one direction
He
only.
compared both.
I'll
back
go
and
back
forth.
through it. They cut in one direction only. So if you ever noticed, if you ever take somebody who has like a ton of thick, coarse hair, like if you're cutting my hair, for instance, and you just went into it this, you notice it kind of slows down a little bit. With those, since it's cutting in both directions, you're just going to fly right through it. Also, if you try to stop the blade with your thumb with these, you'll stop it in a heartbeat.
Oh my god. I
Whereas
would
with
never.
that, you're not stopping anything.
I would never.
You're so gutsy.
So with this one, I'm going to go in with my 2.5 guard. I'm just going to put in my shortest guide down here. Coming up and flicking out as I work my way up the back of that head. A lot of times people are coming in, they don't know exactly how short they want to go. I enjoy the 2-guard on the Master Series as a quick go-to for a lot of people because it's not too short, it's not too long. You can usually just go a hair shorter if you need to, especially if you're working around that nape area, back of the head like I am right now, just to give them a quick, what do you think about this? Again, working up, flicking out as I work my way up. Again, like I've said before, if you notice, while I stop to move the mannequin, if there's my guest, move the chair, I'm always turning the clippers off. If you let them run too long, they will get warm.
They get a little bit more than warm. They get pretty hot.
Yeah, they get pretty toasty.
I learned that when I gave you your first really tight fade.
High and tight skin fade. So now I went and I grabbed my 3. I'm going to close the blade, so it's a true 3. It's not a 3.5. I'm just gonna see my line there. Let me see if I can move him. So now I'm just gonna work between that and that. Just gonna bring it up. That's the hair. So I'm working just small sections, trying to blend this out. And I'm opening it slightly as I work my way up.
Are you flicking out at all, or are you
Yep.
just...
The whole time, as I work my way up the head, whether I'm taking the bulk out or I'm trying to blend a line, always want to flick out. If you don't, you're just coming straight in and pulling the clipper away from the head, you're going to create a really drastic line that's a pain in the butt to take out. So I'm only working in one quadrant right now. Some people like to go side to side as they cut the hair. I like to worry about one little area and then work my way around. Okay. Now you see, let me see on this. It's tough. Find a nice angle. Actually, that's pretty good. So, if you're looking right there, it's very gradual as it works its way up. You can see back here, and that's going from the 2 to the 3 closed to the 3 open, and then essentially the 4 closed, which I use to take out a lot of my bulk. Now, if we come to this side, trying to see if I, oops, sorry, getting a little squirrely. Trying to find a heavy weight line. It's tough on a mannequin. But there's actually a weight line right about there. You can see it now? Awesome. And that's without blended whatsoever. So we're going to go back in there and work it out like we did the other side. So again, I'm going to start closed. So I am the shortest 3 guard possible. And just work up and flick out. And again, even these guards are plastic. They're not metal like the other ones or just the metal blade of this one. You want to make sure you're not going in too aggressive because they will still nick your client. They'll cut them.
Or just not be comfortable.
Yeah.
Scratching. Hey, Justin.
Hey,
Amy
Brian.
asked, I'm in the market for a new clipper. If I can only get one, which Andis do you recommend getting?
How long have they been cutting hair for? And are they comfortable using clippers? Because that's going to determine my answer.
I just said get the Masters.
Well, the Andis Envy is a great set. It's the one Thad usually loves to go to.
Yeah, I love that one.
But the thing I've seen with the Envy setup is it doesn't cut as consistently close and blends as nice as I like the Master Series too. So if you're just getting started and you're not too experienced with clippers, I would say get the Envies to kind of get used to them. A lot of people don't always turn them off in the middle, so they won't get as warm as quick. But if you feel pretty comfortable cutting men's hair or just doing clipper cuts in general, these would be my go-to, the Andis Master Series.
Yeah, I like them.
She said she was leaning towards Masters.
I would definitely get the Masters. Again, now I'm opening it out.
Just 11 years.
Oh, so I think she's good. Now I'm going to open the 3 up all the way to make it 3.5. Just work a little bit of the sideburn area. Just take some of that bulk out. You don't want it to be too fluffy around there. And this is going to keep it pretty similar to where I had the rest of the fade around the head. Something on this side. Again, just to clean up the sideburn area a little bit. Now I'm going to go in with the Andis outliner here. Switch my combs up. All the finer
And that's
teeth.
the trimmer that came in the Envy set, right?
Yes, this is the Andis. This is the outliner that came in the Andis Envy setup. It has become one of my favorites. If you look, I've done a difference video before. the teeth are a little longer than your traditional outliners that come in the gray pair. They're both great, outliners. They do fantastic jobs, but this just you get a little bit of a tighter cut with.
Justin,
Yes.
Marissa has asked, would you suggest doing a guard shorter at the hairline and front by the ear so it doesn't grow out as fast for them?
Hairline front by the ears. So the sideburn area?
Yeah. Like I'm guessing, like the white wall area. Would you do a shorter guard around there?
Depends on the look they want to have. Like I said, a lot of guys I'm seeing come in are wanting it a little longer on the sides. They don't want that skin tight look that has been in the media for so long. And so I would just say keep it symmetrical with what you're doing in the back. No, you're not going to cut a straight line around the head. When you do a fade, you're using points of reference along the face I went over in previous videos. So you're always going at a tilted angle. So whatever you're using around the sideburn, you're usually going to be using behind the ear, around that nape area, or the back of the neck. When you're cutting around the ear, I like to use the ear as a reference point. Of course, I bend it down to get behind it. But if they want that kind of longer textured bee-bird haircut where it kind of sits around the ear, a real fun technique I like to do is to actually use the ear as something to cut on. So I lay the hair on top of it, and I just tap it, and then I see how it's going to sit around that ear area. So you don't have to worry about giving somebody with a longer hairstyle a white wall. You can still kind of cut around the ear as well without having to worry about cut it. Otherwise, I just kind of go around it, keep the natural shape.
I got 2 more questions.
Shoot.
One, I think even I even might be able to answer. Saying he's having an issue with the adjustment lever on my clipper sliding from all the way open to all the way closed, especially when I cut the top with a guard.
Okay.
I tried holding the lever. It feels awkward. What would you suggest?
You must take your clippers apart. To fix that, it's a very simple solution, actually. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Also, after I'm done cutting with the clippers, I like to take my comb and my edger and just clean up the sideburns a little bit if I still need to taper them out. Again, coming out at an angle, choosing that head shape. If you want kind of a softer look. I'm sorry, back to the question though. If you take the cutting blade off, it's 2 Phillips head screws. And then when you take the cutting blade off, behind it,
it's a wall Sterling for
it's a wall
that
Sterling.
matters.
It's usually the same setup, I believe, where if you take I'll show you. If you take this off, behind it, you'll see 4 tiny screws, 2 here and 2 here. That controls the lever. If you just tighten them a fraction of a turn, you can see how tight or loose this is going to be before you even put this on. So that's a quick fix for you.
Excellent. And then Samuel asked, can you fade with the metal blades alone? I have the Oster 76 with no way to open the blade or close it besides using the staple blades. Will the blades fade into themselves without closing or opening, or should I just buy a Masters?
It's a tricky procedure. Before I ever got a Master Series, I was doing a lot of clipper over comb work, where I was using the comb against the head, and that was giving me my fade. Also, if you have the complete set for that clipper setup, you can do a fade. It just takes a little bit more work.
It takes more, and it's expensive. Like I just came off of Oster.
If you want to grab them, they're up top there. It's the entire setup.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good, but I mean, they're
very
so many
expensive.
steps in between. You've got the A, the half, the 3/4, and you can do it.
I would say, speed-wise, if you're in a shop where you need that kind of, let me just get in and out, definitely pick up a Master Series or an NV, a clipper with guards that are detachable. That way it'll make it a little easier for you to work with. If
you want to get the Osters.
That's essentially the whole set. Some of them are doubled in there. The first comb I was using was the YS Park 209, I believe. Yeah, 209 by YS Park. And now I am at what's this one, Matt? You know this one by heart? I love the blueberry, by the way. 339. It's the shorter one. It's your regular comb size, but it's a YS Park, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
It's funny Samuel called it that it was a 339. He knows his terms.
So now what we're doing is we're letting down all the top locks. Usually this in itself is a men's haircut nowadays. It's essentially a short version of what I have. But he wants to get rid of all this. Mannykin does not want to deal with it all. So, one of my favorite tips for dealing with this and taking out some of this bulk and blending it nice is using the head shape and over direction. So I'm going to go back just because I don't use these a lot and I like using them. So I still have my foreguard on, which is the longest we use on the sides here. That's the foreguard. So I'm going to comb all this hair over to be able to still see what I'm working with. I'm going to use my comb as essentially just to hold the hair there, right where that head bends in where I kept my line. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to come straight up. Same thing. Straight up. Combing all this hair from one side, over directed to complete other side of the head, where it would normally lay. I'm going to leave that front out because we're not sure how long we want to make it or short.
Which ones are those again?
This is the Andis Supra ZRs. These are the rechargeable cordless pair of amazingness that we've loved here. So, again, combing everything over directed from one side of the head to the other. And doing the same thing on the other side. How's that, Matt? Can you see over there? Now, one thing I'm going to do that I wouldn't recommend using a Master Series and water, but the Super ZRs, any pair of clippers like those, can cut through wet, damp hair very easy. They have a lot more powerful motor for the clippers, so they're not really going to get jammed up as fast. And this is just because this mannequin has a little bit of a hard part.
Question.
Answer.
Those that the Supras.
Yes.
How do those compare to the Oster Octane?
I've never used the Oster Octane.
So there you go. They don't.
So I cannot compare them. So I'm just going to double check the length of this hair real quick because it is damp, and we all know that damp hair stretches a little bit longer than dry hair.
Is it true that the Master, Fade Master, and Fat Master are a good trio?
I've never used a Fat Master, but the Fade Master is a great clipper. Just be very careful of the clipper. They are very dangerous. We've used them in here. It's not a daily thing. We have
Which
them.
one? I'm saying which ones are those?
Those are the ones that have the blade that comes literally to a razor's edge.
Nope.
That's a clipper that you really want to be very wary of, very cautious with using, because if a gentleman or a lady sitting in your chair has larger hair follicles, you will get that blade caught in them, and they will bleed. Thad has larger hair follicles on his head, and when we were using it on him once, it kind of almost... I noticed it as I was going, and I had to pull
You're
back.
like, nope,
and
stop. I'm not doing this.
like, this isn't a good idea. So, right where that head bends, we're coming up and taking that bulk out. Throwing that hair right out of the way. Thad, what's your favorite pair of clippers?
I'd have to go with that Envy box set. It seems to collect a little bit less hair underneath the blade and in the body, so which requires less maintenance.
How about you, Matt? Favorite clipper?
Say it loud, you're on the microphone.
Like the basketball team?
I like the both of them that you're using now. Those are
Your go-to?
yeah.
Awesome. So I took up most of my weight. Now the reason I combed it all from one side to the other is it makes it real easy to blend it all in. Again, it's a mannequin, so it's pretty tough to see, but a little bit of water will help. as you notice, there's not a super heavy weight line between this and this. We comb this, grab it with the comb. Let's see. Let me know if you want to zoom in. If you grab it with the comb, you'll see that over direction did most of your job for you. So you went from your clipper, your longest clipper guard, your 4 that you started with, all the way up here to the head now. It's already starting to blend in. So you've already brought your guide up from the sides to the top. A big problem I see a lot of people having is a lot of disconnection where it doesn't look smooth and nice and comfortable. It looks very hard where this is very heavy and this is very thin here. So that's a great way to kind of start that for you. Now, grab some scissors, do some scissor work. Weren't sure how long I wanted to leave the front. It's one of those things you can always take more off if you need to. Come forward. Calm all this down for a second. And we're going to just work our way up to the top. So I'm going to grab this hair from the front. And again, follow my guide that I made.
Ooh, Puerto Rico.
Again, bringing it back, grab another section, see my guide. What I've noticed also a lot with this is if the guest has been your guest in your chair, they've already been educated, I hope. So they know the best way to style their hair. A lot of new guests coming in, getting this haircut, just going to bring them to the other side, aren't educated. So you want to make sure you're explaining to them the best way to style it because they're still throwing their product in on saturated hair. A lot of products, best way they're going to give you that nice strong hold, that nice matte finish is when they're very, very dry, maybe a little dampness to them. I know products like Material, you need that little bit of water to kind of control them. Whereas products like Layrite or Ruzel or Suavecito, you want to have them on a drier scale. So you get that much better control. Here, a pin drop in here.
Say something.
Believe it or not, I have nothing to say for once. Tripod is pretty sweet.
Tripod's super sweet.
So you talked about the difference between the Masters and the Fade Masters.
Mhm.
What's the difference between the Masters going from the Masters to the Fat Masters?
I've never used them, so I have no
You
idea.
never use them?
Don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, I was trying to look up some information.
So now, typical FoHawk, kind of where it pushed up to the front. A lot of guys, they don't want all the commitment, so this is why I try to kind of leave a little bit longer in the front. They want to do something different styled with it, but this guy's got wants to go short. So we're gonna
Question.
continue.
If you had gone shorter on the sides, like say a 2 instead of a 4 up at the top, would you
Correct.
still be blending the top the same way?
Yeah.
It would just be a shorter end
It would just
result.
be a shorter end result right around this region because this is what's going to give you that nice blend right here where the sides blend into the top. If you have it too bulky and too full, it's going to look very uncomfortable. It's going to be a pain in the butt to style and won't give them that nice clean end result.
And it's a different style than what you started with, what you said the client has been coming in.
Yeah, because essentially the client was doing the high and tight skin fade or they were doing like a very low taper, like a Brook. And a lot of guys just decided they want to grow their hair out because that was a thing. And now this is what they're moving into. A lot of FoHawks are coming in.
Nicole on Instagram has asked, how do you get comfortable around the ears? Because I swear my guys are going to be leaving earless every time. I get so nervous.
It's just, again, a comfort thing. That little trick using an edger, going around the ear with a comb, is a great tip, a little great tool. So you would essentially hold the comb right over the ear, go over it, or you would comb the hair on top of the ear and just tap it there.
I use is using the thumb of whatever hand you're not cutting with to hold it down and then go with the other tool.
Yeah, I like
Or
to
if
do
you
that as well.
get very clean, very precise, just only one part of your blade is cutting. Make sure that's not the side sitting right on top of the skin.
Ooh, makes me nervous. Cut so many ears.
So
Yeah, because unlike the mannequin,
Correct
human
this
ears
up.
move.
now this is the part of the haircut that kind of makes or breaks how they're going to style it, depending on their texture of hair, how much texture you put into the cut. Right now I'm just using my fingers essentially as a guideline. I'm going in and I'm cutting as I come up.
Creatives by JC asked, do you have a preference on how you finish the back of the neck? Squared off, rounded, or faded?
I partially what the client wants, partially what I think is going to look best on them. They don't see the back of their neck all the time, so they don't know how it looks best. Guys will come in and ask for it to be rounded when it doesn't need to be rounded. It should really be squared out, and vice versa. And it also depends on the haircut. If they want a 2 on the sides or a 3 on the sides or 4 on the sides, I'm not going to bring it all the way down to skin around the neck area because that kind of looks weird sometimes. So I base it fully on the guest. It's not very easy. This is the end result.
So short answer would be whatever is going to look
Whatever looks
with,
best on your guest.
with your guest and their hairline.
Thad, did you just shorten that answer?
Yup.
Wow.
First time ever. Take note.
See what happens when you leave the table? Thad gets so much more confidence.
He's like, so
No.
if I could shorten that answer.
That just means we put you up in front of a camera and you get the wordy one.
Yeah, it happens. Cool. Same thing with the region around here as well. What does every guest have? At least
Calyx.
one of. Cowlicks, swirls. I always tend to leave this a little longer if I'm taking a ton of weight out while it's damp to see how it's going to look while it's dry. Because my motto is I can always take more off. Rather, as you go in super short with this, they're sticking straight up.
Alfalfa.
So, I'm going to go through now. I'm just going to dry it real quick. I'm going to see how this looks dry, and then if I need to texturize a little more, I will. Now, while I'm blow drying, I'm trying to push these sides. I'm using the heat to direct the hair forward. When I come up in the middle, because I know you're not really going to be healing it that well with the blow dry going, I'm going to grab that hair and kind of direct it where I want it to, bringing that heat from the front and the sides.
They can hear Justin. when you do
Okay,
it.
I didn't know how
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
it was going to
you'll
be.
fine.
And from the front up here.
Brian, do you want to do a couple questions from Instagram while he's styling, and we can?
Yes.
All right.
All right. First one, we've got Glenn Demo Campo 1. If I have to leave the salon I'm at, is it ethical to let my clients know that I will no longer be there and where I will be? I say yes, because that's exactly what I did, so it worked out well for me. I don't think it's unethical. I think if you're worried about ethics, then maybe don't be like, hey, come see me there. Like, I left and I was coming here. I assumed that since I was going an hour away, I would just be like, well, if you're ever in, New Hope, walking around on the street, pop in and say hi to me, which is my way of saying, this is where I'll be.
Yeah, don't go into the computer and steal their information and then call them
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's different.
I would agree with that. I mean,
All the salons you've left.
yeah. No, I'm saying like ethically, you can't legally go in and steal the
No, you
information
can't, like,
from the
take information out of the
computer.
book.
But this day and age, everybody's got Facebook. Everyone can find you. So
Right. If they want to come with you, they're gonna. If
yeah.
they want to leave the salon, they're gonna. If they love
Yeah.
the salon, then they'll stay there.
but don't go take stuff out of a computer because that's stealing. So just
And
be
that's
definitely.
I
you
think
know,
the ethics comes in contacting them outside of them sitting in your chair.
right.
That's what I think is
Yep.
like the gray area of not okay.
Yeah.
Like, I stayed at my old salon, and it was so that I could either be like, you need to go with the stylist, or this is where I'll be.
Right. I mean, you were there for a month before you left.
Right.
So you saw a lot of people before
Right.
you left.
I was gonna say I know a lot of people who, well, Brian, you have a lot of your guests who follow you on social media, so
I was
all
gonna
you
say, a
had to
lot
do
of
was make a
people-
post. But
It's the
I
best way to do it.
I knew a stylist who on the back of her business card wrote her email address so that if anybody had any questions or concerns, they could contact her directly. That also opened up for if she ever left the salon, they
Right.
had a way to contact her without giving out her personal cell phone number.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of people personally contacting me for
Anything.
anything. So for me, but I think this day and age, like everyone also is, a lot of people are working independently. If you're working in a salon and you're planning on leaving, like if you don't think it's ethical, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
Like, so just
Don't
telling
call them. Let them come to you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what.
Awesome.
Another one
Real
I
quick.
thought would be
I'm sorry
fun to hit
interrupt
on.
you. I'm just gonna go through now with the Acro-Wide cutting scissor. This is a dry cutting tool.
I'm actually excited because I'm going to be very truthful here because I want to be ethical as well. This is the first time Justin's used this scissor, so I really want to hear.
I thought you were going to say this is the first time you've seen a scissor being used. I was going to be shocked.
Well, no, it's my scissor.
I know,
but
that's why I was going to be shocked.
I know that Justin has a scissor that he brought to the salon,
Yeah.
which I don't know where you got it.
Some
But-
guy on a Harley. Honestly.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Everyone in New Jersey got a scissor from a guy on a Harley, but but this scissor you've never used. It's my
No.
scissor, so I want to get your reaction from it, as you're using it.
I mean, if he rides a Harley, he's got to know about scissors.
Well, real quick, when I blow dry this mannequin, it's laying exactly how I want it to. You'll notice that it blends real soft from here up till here, and all that hair flowing forward. This is no product. This isn't a blow dry serum. This isn't a conditioning product. This is literally just a mannequin that was shampooed and blow dry prior to the cut, and now it's sitting pretty solid to how I want it to with all that over direction. I don't really need to diffuse any lines around the sides too much. I just kind of want to take out a little bit of bulk we have up top. Hi.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
How's it
Let's
going?
see how this guy goes.
All
I
right.
like it.
Next. You good?
Well, that's better than uh-oh.
Whoops.
All right,
Okay.
next one. I think this will be a fun one. Are there any tools or methods that are being heavily used by professionals lately that you don't necessarily agree with or find very professional in practice or appearance? Matt, you start.
Oh.
You said it's a fun one. You have one,
I was
so
gonna say, I
do.
have-
why don't
but
you talk
I think
about
we
it?
all
He's
have
waiting. He
one.
wants to build it up so that he's like, I got the best one.
Oh, no, mine's not the best one. I just...
I don't. Well, you have
I don't
one, though. I
have-
don't know if Matt had
Yeah, I don't
one.
have
We were all
one.
talking about it.
I don't know if they're still around, but the only product that I've ever seen that I really had like a pet peeve with was those smoothing irons or curling irons that did that had the steam or that advertised that they were wet to dry. Yeah, just because that's like bad for the hair, and they're advertising that it's okay.
Yeah.
So like that'd be the only thing that I could really think of.
I just want to say I love these.
I had.
If they disappear, like, you know where they went.
Justin doesn't have those tomorrow.
If somebody, I did. Okay, so I got an email this week, and there was a guy who was talking about a leveler for a comb, right?
We've talked about this too.
No, what was funny is we were talking about the old school
Flat top comb.
flat topper with the leveler,
Yep.
and I actually, so I had a guy reach out to me and it's super cool. Like I'm for anybody that wants to invent something and actually work hard at putting it out. He has a great website and stuff. No, but so it's just one of those things where I don't think a leveling system, because for me, like when you look at, like, we're not on a level floor right now.
No.
Like you drop something, it's going to go to the other side. So if you were to have a leveler installed on anything, a flat topper or whatever, the floor isn't level. So if you cut a haircut level while somebody's not sitting level,
Yeah, no, it's
not going to be
irrelevant.
level. So I would just say to people out there,
It'll just be super level when you're here.
No,
Yeah.
if you're holding it and moving it until it's level, it's level.
it's level.
Yeah, but if they're sitting cockeyed...
if they're not sitting
yeah.
level, because
But
they're
you know
on,
the chairs are sometimes not perfectly level.
yeah, like our chair's
Like,
sitting
if
on
my
a
hand is
floor.
like this, but you cut it perfectly flat like this, then it's perfectly flat like this till I stand up.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
It makes sense what you're saying. I don't think that that's right.
I'm a physics
Oh no,
master,
it's
just trust
absolutely
me.
right.
Well, before we continue about everything we hate, I'm gonna style this real quick.
Oh, wait, did you just stop a conversation about hate?
Yeah, weird.
Who
Things
are you
change
tonight?
when I get behind the camera.
Wow.
like you
I'm
and your
using
red
2
face.
products tonight.
We need organization now.
The one is Layrite Cement. It is a really fantastic, like stronghold paste putty. Love this stuff because it is water soluble. That's a big thing for me with the products I kind of educate my guests on. And the other one I'm going to use for just a little bit of shine, and it smells fantastic, is the Layrite Original. Upside down.
Lay right.
Oh, yeah.
Lay right.
Mix these guys together.
What is that like? What is the texture? Like what kind of mold and stuff and texture?
It's got a strong hold to it.
I'm just curious for Hayden.
Oh.
Dead serious.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me.
No, I'm.
It's got a really strong hold with the putty, the cement. And the original has a nice shine to it, but it doesn't have the strongest hold. That's why I added a little bit of the original to it to kind of give a little bit of shine to this haircut. The super hold is a brown container of the same product. It has a stronger hold than the original does, but it doesn't have the hold of the matte kind of hold of the cement. It's this. Remember when I used to actually pump my hair when I came to work?
Yeah.
That's what I used to use in my hair every day. And it held my hair up for 8 hours. Yeah. But yeah. And that is our finished FoHawk for tonight.
So suave.
So
Looks
suave.
fantastic, Justin.
That's nice.
Thanks. And again, it's one of those things, not to the skin. It's not a tight taper. It's clean. You know, a kid can get this haircut very easily because, you know, kids don't sit that well for extended period of times. But yeah. And that's it. Any questions?
So a couple
really
of things that I actually liked about what you did. I was confused by what you did for 1 second, and then I understood it right after that. So you combed everything on the top to one side, cut it with a clipper, right?
Yes.
So I think what people could take from that is it was almost like you were creating what your guideline would be, because the overdirection came from one side, you cut it, and then so that built that triangle shape on the top, or that kind of the longest point in the center. And then you went through with your scissors and actually cut what you were cutting.
Yeah.
So it's 2 steps, but you're quickly creating a guide, then going through and fine-tuning that whole thing.
Yeah, it's not like you're sitting there and you're trying to take hair that's out to here,
Right.
trying to be comfortable with that. It's a real quick 1-2 step.
Yep. So I like that. What'd you like, guys?
I was gonna say I really liked that whole like over direction thing because it removes so much bulk so quickly.
And you can do that with a scissor, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it was just so simple. And I feel like for a lot of kids who come in with really overgrown haircuts, it's going to be a really fast turnaround for them.
And I didn't show it too much, but when you're working on the back, again, that's one of those sections I tend to leave a little longer. I'll over direct it instead of going completely sideways over here. I'll kind of comb it forward a little bit, so you have that little bit more bulk back here to work with. Yeah.
Very cool.
And again, same question. You can take that 2 guard up to here and push it all over, because that's still going to blend it all in right here where you want it to.
Mm-hmm. And he's back.
And I'm done.
All right, so we have to spin the wheel.
I'm excited.
So,
Okay.
okay, Christina's got it over.
Dre, you going for it?
Yeah, I'm going to crawl under the
Or I can
That's-
just like walk around here.
Or I can spin it for you. I'm right here.
Yeah, Justin, why don't you spin it?
Okay.
Did you take your pre-workout before you were gonna spin it? We'll see it next Wednesday.
The wheel stops spinning in 2 wheels.
So we're gonna go with sheer adoration.
Do we want to talk about these concerts?
Hey,
Yes.
Dre,
So,
can you just take a look behind, just make sure that cord isn't gonna pull.
so real quick, we have a new sponsor on the wheel.
Don't break my
Which is Vibrastraight. Created that logo. It actually
Isn't
looks
that the Pokemon symbol?
no, but so that is their logo, but I did it with a marker, so it's a little off, but it looks good enough. So Vibrastraight, we have which is the iron I've been using in all the vlog videos. Amica, awesome tools. Have supported the show for a long time. We're giving out prizes. Olaplex, we love Olaplex. I mean, Brian just did a video and talked all about it as well. Mizutani scissors, we're still giving away a scissor. MinervaBeauty.com. furnish, furniture for your salon. We also every piece of furniture you see in here came
Salon
from
furniture,
Minerva.
Salon swag, salon everything.
Yes. Free Salon Education is giving away a cool little FSE gift basket thing. Let's just say collection of stuff. It might not come in a basket. Donald Scott, carving comb, Sunlight's balayage, a bali box. Jay Lace is some clothing.
We got some cool clothing. Actually, the hat from the image that we used for our
today,
our little thing for this show is a Jay Lace hat.
Yep. And then Parker Razors. Justin's actually ordering a new one.
I'm actually ordering a ton of those. I got some barber friends of mine. I'm getting big gifts too.
Nice. And then Ergo Brushes. Check out Ergo Brushes on freesaloneducation.com. Also, that is it.
That is it.
So,
That's all, folks.
who's spinning?
Oh, I said it already.
I know. Say it one more time.
Whoever
Just
it was,
so.
pay attention.
Sheer adoration.
Sheer adoration. Email contest at freesaloneducation.com. Your address and all your info with whatever prize you get here. So, all right, Drea. Sweet sunlight. All right.
Future's looking very bright for you.
Love it.
All right, perfect. So email us, contest at Free Salon Education. We'll get your info to Sunlight, and you'll get your Bali box in the mail. All right. You
All
guys-
right. What are we doing next week, Matt?
I don't know what we're doing next week. So,
What do you do every week, Pinky?
Yeah.
Taking over the
Try to
world.
take over the world.
yep. All right, Thad, you want to close this out?
This is Free Salon Education coming at you from YouTube.
Oh my
Follow
God!
us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, anything social media. Free Salon Education.
They're like the kid that went to cheer around but didn't know how to.
That really shows what happens.
If you came to prove, there's no reason to prove.